Hi there guys, you joined me at A35 with an owner I've met up with before. Looking forward to going for a drive, a little bit of an ownership kind of review, showing you what this car's all about, and yeah, super looking forward to this. But yeah, should we head off? Should we
let's
make
go.
a move?
Let's go.
Oh no, we're straight in. Ooh, she sounds good. So I'm gonna put up like the stats actually, either over my face or your face of this car, because I don't think that's something I spoke about before. I've got I'll leave in the description 2 other videos I've got on this car, which I think are worth watching. And yeah, you can kind of check those out. But yeah, this car, 300 horsepower, 2-litre engine. And yeah, we were just checking underneath the bonnet actually, and it looks really, really nice and presented. Really nice kind of touches to it. So, and it's obviously just a quality place in here. I mean, they've kind of absolutely smashed it. It's very much business class, turbine vents, nice ambient lighting. Just a really nice place to be, and this car has pretty much everything.
Yeah,
so packages wise, isn't it? So aero pack,
night pack.
So is the pan roof just a pan roof, or is that a package?
I think the pan roof comes as part of one of the packages.
Okay.
Maybe like the luxury pack. I don't know the exact names of the packs, but yeah, from what I was told, it had all the options, all the extra packs. Yeah,
gotcha.
Including the alloy wheels, which I've still not seen another set of, which are basically like a sort of a special sort of metallic black, which basically shine in the sun. And I think a lot of the alloys you get on the A35s have the silver sort of chrome ring around the outside. These don't, they go all the way to the outside, so it's just full black.
Super nice. And Burmester Hi-Fi, which I sadly can't show you because of copyright stuff, but it's I imagine it sounds really nice system. Really good.
Yeah.
The digital display, that's not standard, that's another few grand.
Yeah.
And it's just a very, very nice place to be.
It is.
Adaptive suspension, I don't know if that
so
is that
adaptive
standard?
dampeners, no, that was extra as well. So in each of the driving modes you can go to different sections of that. So either make the ride harder or softer. So that's a nice touch as well.
Well, we'll head off in whatever mode you have it in, because we'll go and
it'll just be the normal mode.
We'll go and get some fuel. I'll have to lower this. Such a cool place to be, and it's nice early morning as well to enjoy.
Do you remember those mornings we had when I had the Club Sport, when it was pouring down with rain?
I'll leave that in the description as well actually. The Club Sport, which
it dealt with it quite well, didn't it? And it was sodden.
It was like the worst weather.
Yeah.
And then whenever I've driven this one, it's been as dry as anything, obviously with the 4-wheel drive.
It's one of those cars that every time you get into it, you just feel that feeling you're having, where you just go, it's just such a nice place to be. It just doesn't get old.
No, and it's really, really smooth just early on.
Yeah.
Obviously, having driven down here, my Mark 7 Golf R, 4-wheel drive, hot hatch, similar kind of philosophy, and this feels just proper chilled. I'm assuming we're in it. It starts in like its default normal,
standard mode,
probably comfort
mode.
setting.
Yes, which
is what you should be doing anyway, because the car needs warming up.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the car of over 300 horsepower, you shouldn't just be flying it out the gates. But yeah, how's your ownership been so far?
I mean, I've had it now. I bought it early April after having the Club Sport Mark 8. And I think I probably said to you on the first video, my initial thoughts were how much just generally better the operation was of this car.
Oh yeah, the ergonomics. Which is really, really surprising, because VW they should have done so much better. I can't.
Yes.
It was all for money.
Yeah, it was all really, really disappointing. But I mean, as I said, I'm sort of firm believer in everything happens for a reason, and I feel like I've definitely moved into a much nicer car. And that for me is probably my best sort of feeling of it all. As I said, every time I get in it, every time I drive it, I just feel like I had something better than I had before. so for me, it was a really good thing that I didn't like the Club Sport.
So let's go loud.
Foot on brake.
So pull the brake, pull the pedal first.
Yep.
Pull the pedal.
Just hold it and now keep it all and press that. Just gives it a big boost.
Yeah, definitely. Can we go into the sporty mode?
Yeah. So to do all that stuff, so you're just going here.
Yep. So dynamic.
So click down.
And then I see
Sport, and then Sport Plus.
Oh, so it's like hidden.
Yeah, that's the rave mode. And then you got the...
So you could go sport.
So you're here, comfort, sport plus mode.
So you could go comfort, suspension, sport plus.
Yeah, which would be like the Nürburgring type sort of mode.
Yeah, let's keep it in comfort. But with the sport stuff. Let's pop it down just because of the just for the viewers. But yeah, again, I mean, I'll keep saying thank you so much because it's literally it's such an amazing car. I mean, just looking at it there with the pan roof and the wing, I was like, oh, fighter jet.
It literally does. Yeah.
Like, literally.
It makes such a difference when that roof's open.
Yeah, it really does. And I think, and I love the individual kind of customization setting, because I think for on the road you probably want it in comfort.
Yes.
But it's nice to have that sort of ability. That's really cool, and not a lot of manufacturers do it, to be fair.
No.
VW do with the Golf, but I know other manufacturers don't. And I know like the Focus ST and stuff like that, they don't do the individual.
Yeah.
So immediately it's a bit more...
It's sort of getting ready.
It's kind of ready to go. We'll let her warm up. So yeah, where were we? So
I got it back in April. Moved from the Club Sport Mark 8, which I was actually waiting for a Mark 8 Golf R, which I had on order, and I've been waiting about kind of, I don't know, 8 months for that. And literally, I spoke to the VW dealer. He was like, look, no idea when this thing's coming through. And I was like, you know what? I've basically had enough of VW. I've had all these problems with the software in the Mark 8.
I've had that a lot in the comments. I can't believe how many comments I've had of people just like, I've been waiting like 15 months.
Well, yeah, there was that. And then there was, for me, I think I was lucky in the way that I had the Club Sport.
Yeah, you got it the right time.
So I knew the Mark 8 platform. I knew its strengths and weaknesses. There was all the issues with all the software.
Which isn't going to change.
You know, which is not going to change. It was the little things, like you'd be driving at night time and you couldn't see half the buttons where you needed to press.
Yeah, that's not cool.
And I mean, it was just little things like that. And then I was looking around on the market because I definitely wanted a new car. I really had enough of the Club Sport. And I saw this. It was up in Leeds, SCC,
SCC, I have heard
very well known second-hand car, you know, top-end sports car.
Travel for a good deal if you want one.
so yeah, went to Leeds, went for a little drive in it. The guy said to me, he goes, mate, you won't need to take it for a drive. He goes, look, it's a completely different car to any of the Golfs you would have driven. Just the feeling of it, and I didn't believe him, to be honest with you. And we went for a little.
Keep going straight?
Yeah, keep going straight. Yeah. We went for a little spin, and literally after 2 minutes, I just knew exactly what he meant, and I said, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And I guess so. Since then, just been living with it. It's just a pleasure to be in.
Yeah, it's definitely a quality item.
It's a pleasure to be in. I think the Spec I got it in, the all black. With those wheels, which I just love. Those wheels, they just set it off. They just make it very stealthy with the rest of the black stuff. And it's a rocket.
As we know, and I think we were talking about as well, manufacturers definitely underestimate their power figures these days.
Yeah.
Take a left.
Yeah, go left. Yeah.
We'll try and beat the
beat those cyclists. Yeah.
But
yeah, it was quite interesting. I was watching a few videos, and they've definitely said that these have been put on is it the dynos?
Yeah, like the rolling roads.
The rolling
and stuff.
to test them out, and they're basically coming in at around 350, which for me makes sense because when I've been driving it, I've been going. I mean, this thing is seriously quick. So and particularly coming from the Club Sport, it just felt more alive than the Club Sport, and I know obviously it's got the four-wheel drive.
To be fair, I think the Club Sport's underrated as well at that power.
Yes, for sure.
I think the biggest thing is the fact that you can deploy everything in this.
Yes.
There's no. We had some scrabbling times as we in your Club Sport.
Oh yeah.
It was clawing away.
Yeah.
But yeah, and actually it got me thinking a little bit about the general A-class kind of platform. I think if you want to kind of get into one of these and potentially this isn't in your budget or something like that, you know, like an A250, something like that, give it a good spec, or go for an A35 without a high spec.
Yeah.
But mean, that's nice.
It's just so smooth.
Paddles are really nice as well. I don't understand why. I mean, I have a manual, but in like VW products, for example, it's the plastic little tiny paddle, which is not particularly the nicest, to be honest with you. This is 7-speed, so again, you can just cruise it in 7th.
Yeah.
So any issues, any positive things?
I've actually been trying to think. I've had no issues. Touch wood.
Exactly. It's definitely. I can't hear any rattles or anything like that.
No issues, no rattles. As I think I mentioned on your channel with one of the posts you had a few months ago, it's just been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
There's been nothing negative. I'm trying to actually think of something. No, it's just been every day, just enjoying it. I have to say the amount of people that comment on the car, and I think obviously specs always help. Like, you know, different cars do look a bit sharper in certain specs, and I think the way this is kitted out just seems to have gone down very well. So yeah, it turns heads, it's relaxing when you want to just drive it normally, but also very comfortable when you want to push it.
I love the dials still. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, the glossiness of it. And I would say if you are looking to get an A-Class, obviously you can get it in different spec. I would very much recommend you go for stuff like the extra nav and the extra packages if you can.
I mean, how could you not want that screen?
Yeah, I think it's such a big part of the car. I think because I've heard you get like a black square or something like that. It's just like empty.
Oh right.
So it just ruins the kind of look
and
of it.
Get in the left lane.
Cool. Go behind.
Get off some nice little back roads.
Yeah, I mean, I stuck it in comfort because it's nice to keep it in 7th. So just to kind of cruise.
Yeah. I think the all-round thing, Sam.
Economy.
What's that?
Do you know economy at all?
I think it probably. I mean, look.
If you were in 7th cruising,
if you're just cruising, probably sort of 31, 32.
That's pretty good.
But to be honest with you, mate, I'm sort of guessing a bit there. I never look at stuff like that. I drive it for fun.
Yeah,
I very rarely just drive it.
This isn't like your commuting car, is it?
It is.
But like you don't have a long commute.
No, my commute luckily is only about 5 minutes. but no, I just enjoy my car when I'm in it. Yeah. It just depends on the mood I'm in. But it's, for me, I've become very used to just putting it into Sports Plus.
Yeah.
And just enjoying the noise, enjoying it, just feeling like it's ready to go. Even if I'm not going to necessarily smash the hell out of it, I just like the feeling of it when it's in that mode.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And I've put it in its more sportier setting, Sport Plus.
I'm going to go off left here, which
and
then you can
this is now the firmer damper. So we're going to see. We'll see if we get chucked around a little bit. But at the end of the day, if it's too firm, you've got the option to. I love the noise. I think because it's actually, you generally do get the nice little pops as well. I think that's really, really special. And even though it's like a gorgeous sunny day today, it's wet. It was wet last night, so it's slippery on the roads. If you want to enjoy a car like this, generally early mornings when it's cold,
this is when I come out.
You would need the whole. I mean, I'm a big advocate for any four-wheel drive cars, to be honest with you. I think those hot hatches are really, really great. I can't stop smiling in it. I think if you're in the market for these sort of four-wheel drive, sort of hot hatch 300 odd horsepower, you have got a lot of competition now since the Golf R sort of popped around. But surprisingly, each one of them has its own unique kind of personality, I think.
For sure.
I think if you're into your BMWs, probably you're fine with your M135i. If you're really into your Golf R's, you're probably going to be fine with your Golf R's. But if you like your Mercedes stuff and you like the way that they do things, you know, just go for something like this. The biggest thing that I will say, and I'll stop talking too much because I do want to know your thoughts more, is that this car drives really well.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I felt when I saw you in April, I was like, Mercedes, gonna look good, you know, it's probably gonna have a good powertrain because they generally do, but how does it actually handle?
Yeah.
And I will recommend you check out the other videos as well on that because it's really fun.
Yeah.
Really, really fun. And yeah,
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that for me is the biggest thing. It's just a very, very nice place to be. And if you want to drive like a bit of an idiot, then it's more than happy to help you with that. And it's just really fun, whether you're just chilling out or whether you're really pushing it. And look, that'll be the same for all the cars in this sort of category. And as you said, they'll all have their own characteristics. But for me, the feeling of what when I'm inside and I'm looking at everything and the quality of the finish of everything, that for me is where it's just a much nicer place to be than what I've had. I know a guy that's got the 135i.
Yep.
And he was choosing in between this and that, and the reason he went for the BM is because he's a bit of an older chap and he thought the BM just was a little bit more conservative.
I think it's a little bit cheaper as well.
Well, possibly that as well. I think he said styling wise, he just felt the BM was a bit more conservative.
They really do look like 118Ds.
Yeah, they do, and they're still nice cars. I've seen it and I've parked next to it. It's a nice car. But he's like a little kid when he's around this. He just loves coming over and having a chat with me about it. And I think it's just horses for courses. It's just what you like the look of.
Everyone's personal preference.
You know, I was a massive Batman fan, so the Batmobile was always what I wanted my cars to look like, and I kind of feel like this is the hot hatch version of the Batmobile, with that rear wing.
The thing is, that's really surprising actually, because we've got it in its firmest setting.
Yes.
I could live with this. Yes. I know everyone has their own tolerance in terms of suspension, but I could live with this in its firm setting to have some fun.
For sure.
So obviously, to put it into comfort, it's going to be a little bit more comfortable. Obviously, it's never going to be your A180 in terms of comfort.
And you don't want it to be.
Don't want it to be. You want to feel what's going on.
You want to feel what's going on, exactly.
I also nerded out as well a little bit. Check the tyres. I think it's P0s, which are really good tyres.
Yes.
The Pirelli's on them.
Yeah.
And this is on 19-inch wheels as well. So you've got to think, oh, is that going to be like, how's it going to last? But it's a really, really good package. The one thing I probably would say, if you're going to get a car like this, I probably would go for the kind of spec that you've kind of gone for.
Yeah.
I know it does add the price up a fair amount. If you're just in for your driving, you could just get something completely base with nothing on it. But I love the glossiness of the dash. Simply because it's Mercedes like MUBX system, which they will use in, you know, their even higher, more expensive models.
I think this look was lifted from, I don't know the other models, but I think I've heard someone say that the AMG C series or the C63 or something. I think this was lifted from that.
Yeah, because just like every other manufacturer, they're all about cutting costs and making things obviously all conform with the entire range. So you're getting, you know, really like it's punching.
You're getting their top end spec in a cheaper car. Yeah, for sure. And that's highlighted even more in the A45, and I've heard that they do it on purpose because for them the A45S is such a unique spec.
Yeah, I really want to try one.
There's so few people are going to buy one of those, and so what they did was they wanted to make the A35 as identical to it as possible for more normal people. I say more normal people, it's still about 50 grand car.
Yes.
But that extra 10 grand for an A45, just most people are never going to get up to.
That's true. I mean, I would love to try an A45, and I think money no object. I think it's just one here, isn't it?
Yeah, money no object. If you are just like we are enthusiasts, then go for the A45S and enjoy it.
The thing is with the A45S, I think now if you wanted one, they're over 60.
Yes, they are.
Which is a lot. I mean, I've only heard good things about that car. And
for sure.
If you would like to lend me one of those cars, a subscriber or something, please do reach out.
Yeah, and me too. I'll reach out.
We'll all get together. But
we'll have a day. Yeah.
This was the fun road that I was on before.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just so nice.
the funny thing is that, because I've obviously, as you can imagine, being an A35 owner and loving the A45 as well,
yes.
I've watched a lot of reviews.
Yeah.
And the general feedback has been that the A45 and A35, effectively for normal day-to-day driving, and even having fun around the place, are identical. Obviously, on a track, the A45 has that extra, whatever, 50 to 100 horsepower. I mean, what is it, over 400 horsepower?
415, yeah, so we're about 100 more.
Yeah.
But the
0 to 60 difference is minimal, and this is where it goes back to the whole dynos. Like, this is much quicker than 306 horsepower, because the 0 to 60 time on the A45 is something like 3.9.
Yeah, 3.9.
And on this it's 4.6. So it's not that much quicker. And obviously they've delimited the top end.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, 160. I think the A45 goes to 170.
Just the 160.
I think it goes to 170 or something. The top speed.
That's crazy. Yeah, and for the road, you'd be fine with 35. Like, I don't think on the road you'd be missing.
No.
And the brakes are really good on this as well. And I'd probably, it's hard to say because I haven't driven an A45S. I've driven a lot of Mercedes. I went to Mercedes-Benz World and I did a lot of track experiences and stuff there. I would say an A45 is going to be firmer. And I'll be honest, you know, this car for some people might be too firm.
Yep.
Wow, that's a lot of bumps. I will go slow.
Yeah, well done.
But yeah, that's the biggest thing. If you're like, you know, most people on my channel are VW, Audi Group fans. You know, I don't share as much on the Mercedes stuff as much as I love them, and I love generally all cars. I'll be honest, I'm a half glass full kind of person with a lot of things. I think get out and drive one, you'd be really surprised.
Now this is one of the best roads. So if we've got a clear path here, if you just get onto the road, and then once you're in it in about 5 seconds, you'll see that there's probably no one ahead. But yeah,
good noises. Get past that bump. Really effortless. Really effortless, isn't it? Brake feels really good. Gearbox feels really good, particularly on upshifts, I'd say. Like, yeah, it's bang on, and I feel quite in control as well. Like, it doesn't feel like, particularly when you're in Sport Plus, it knows that you want to be in the lower gears.
Yes.
It doesn't mess around.
No.
It's nice. It's a really, I mean, it's tough for people because they have so many different choices, but yeah, you can't not have this and not be smiling.
Yeah, and yeah, I think that's the main thing with me, and I think that's why I'll keep this one for a while. I'm actually quite interested to see what they'll do with the updates of these. So they've already started talking about it.
Facelift, do you
So
think
they basically have said, hey, look at this guy, he's secretly just loving this.
No, I do, I do love it. And
it's so fun to drive.
It's really good.
But no, they have released information. So the A35 and A45 are getting a facelift.
Cool.
But it's very, very minimal differences. There's no difference to the general speed, although I think the A35 might have some sort of little hybrid power box added to it, which will give it a little bit of extra boost somewhere.
It'll weigh more though.
It'll weigh a bit more, but the A45 is completely untouched with the speed. They're not touching the engine at all, and all they're doing is I think they've got a special edition called the Street Edition, which is basically all the canards, all the areas have got like bright red, kind of like luminous kind of stuff. So it looks pretty cool.
I'll have to check that out.
But again, I just don't know when these cars are coming out, because everything's backlogged, it's all delayed. So I think the A35 and A45 updates are due for 24.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you're fine in this. And I do share a lot on the car market and stuff, and I can remember 2 years ago talking about it, how I was like, you know, it's just gonna, you know, normal stuff will resume. Obviously, things have happened in the world, and that's just not happened. You know, you're pretty much safe in a car for another 6 months without really, you know,
I still think, look, I mean, I still think it's got a long way to go before things are back to normal, Sam. I think that there are still no cars around.
And for your enthusiast as well, I'm yet to be encouraged by a performance hatch or a performance car in sort of electric guise.
Yes.
So if you're like me and you, or like a lot of people on my channel, you're still going to be seeking out
100%.
these. And if they're going to be sticking hybrids in them, or you know, the next generation of A-Class is going to be electric, or not at all. They're just not going to be able to use that platform. That's really cool as well.
I think I'd be lying, and look, it's worth talking about it on this channel. If I deep down, you know, obviously it's expensive, and got to see how life pans out with money and all that kind of stuff. But I think if there was a car that I would be excited about getting in the future, it would probably be an A45S. Like get like a limited edition version of that, and that's something that I look to aspire to one day, and be able to get
completely. And that's completely not surprising as well, because I
love this car so much.
You can get it in the same looks. You won't have to sacrifice any of the stuff that you love in terms of the usability of it all.
And you just get that ridiculous engine.
A crazy power plant in it. I know with the A45, the seats are slightly different as well.
Well, this is it. So
the caveat to that is it would be firmer. Again, you have to sacrifice things, don't you?
The seats are different, but again, it's like, this is where it comes down to personal taste. Like, it's basically far more boy racerish. Like, you've got like bright yellows and stitching everywhere, which for me is perfect. I'm a boy racer. Deep down, I always have been.
I love the seats in these. They feel really comfy.
The seats in these are amazing. But yeah, I love like the fact that it's got that personalisation. It's all like bright yellow, and it's just very different.
It will hold you in better as well.
Yeah,
it'll be
for
that
sure.
sort of body hugging kind of theory.
Yeah, until I sort of win the lottery or something like that, I think this is good enough for me.
Oh yeah, and I think the thing that, again, maybe people forget about, and you know, on normal road, on normal driving, 90% of the time, you're not going to be noticing any difference with a 45.
You're not.
And if you do get the most out of a 45, you're going to be watching your license a little bit.
You're going to be in jail,
It's crazy, and that extra 100 horsepower, trust me, that will come at the last 2,000 RPM. So for me, like, a lot of the pulls that I've been doing has been 3,000 RPM, been going.
You're not going to notice a difference.
No,
you really aren't.
And for a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine, the big difference is going to be a big turbo, which means you have to be on it to really get the most out of it. And as a result, so
for a quick little 3-second acceleration runs, you're not going to feel anything from it.
But all that aside, yes, an A45, that sounds amazing. Stuff that you touch and feel is really nice. Like, I love how they've just made the paddles nice. Like, such a simple thing to do.
Such a simple thing. But it all integrates into like all this and the wheel and stuff. It all just looks like they've thought about it. Whereas going back to the old VW, I'm not just going to bash VW.
No, I don't think we should.
I'm just telling you my views from someone who's owned them for 10 years.
And someone did comment, actually made a very good point. A lot of people who comment have never actually driven the cars, and they've never actually owned the cars.
They're just what they imagine.
I can share my best opinion from driving a lot of cars, which I'm grateful to. But I can't share an ownership of having this car since April.
And this is the thing, and this is when I was in the Mark 8, the Club Sport, the interior just felt like
they let them down.
It just felt like it hadn't been properly thought about, and that's the best way I can describe it.
I think with that car, the thing that was thought about was costs. They had that team was like, that's what we're thinking about.
And you know, they use like cheap plastics around the place and stuff, and they made it so minimalistic. The thing is, if you make something minimalistic, you've got to make what's in there amazing. Whereas they'd made it minimalistic, but then you were just surrounded by cheaper plastics, and it just didn't look right.
And I think that would have been fine if it was priced to match, but it's not.
You
know, it's priced no less than this.
This is what I mean.
No less.
Well, the Mark 8R.
The Mark 8 Club Sport is about the same price. The Mark 8R is good. a couple of grand more. It's 43 starting now for a Mark 8R.
Right. Well, I think these are 46,
I think they might,
47.
I think base they might be about 40.
I've not looked at base. I've only ever
Oh,
looked,
yeah,
I've only ever looked at ones that are like this. Yeah, okay. I've not looked at any base models.
You should be able to hear the pops and bangs. I've got to say, I'm really surprised in this firmest setting.
Whoa!
You know what? That is.
This is. Do you understand? This is seriously quick.
But you don't think you're going that fast?
No,
sometimes?
and before you know it, I was actually scared there. Yeah.
It always feels fast as a passenger,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really think.
And it just keeps going. It just keeps pulling.
That sort of 300-ish horsepower mark, like you say, this is probably punching by 20, 30, 40 horsepower,
easily.
probably more.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's very quiet.
Yep.
Very little road noise.
Yep.
Is there any like final points you'd like to say that from any? Like, have you had it? When's like its first service, for example, or do you not know?
I guess it'll be in about 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see the experience at Mercedes.
Yes.
To be honest with you, I went to Mercedes-Benz World and yeah, they certainly got an operation going on there. I wanted to drive the A45 when I went there. I drove.
Do they have one there?
No,
No.
So I drove the C63S, which was good, and then I drove an AMG GT Night Edition, which was right up your street, blacked out, like black night kit, everything.
Nice.
It's like 130 grand.
Yes.
Rear wheel drive.
Yeah.
Really, really nice.
My sort of final thoughts on it are just kind of, yeah, guys, if you're in the market for a hot hatch of this sort of speed and caliber, then definitely take these for a little test drive, because they're good fun.
More than good fun. Well. Gearbox is really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. So that's your my final thoughts on the positives. Screen, the drivetrain. I think it looks great. Thank you so much for reaching out again and allowing me to come back here. You know, you're one of the loyal top favourite subscribers.
No, love being on the channel, mate.
Really do appreciate it. And again, for people watching, that is how this channel works. If you do want me to try your car or try a car that you see on the channel, or even just like, you know, if you're not comfortable with me driving, just to come along and sort of share it, reach out to me, email, DM on Instagram, information in the description for that. But
and there is one more thing, Sam.
Go for it.
Can I do a little bit of selfless promotion?
Go for it.
So guys, apart from my day job, I'm actually quite an established trance music producer. Ooh. Right? And what I hope Sam can do is leave a link of my upcoming track coming out. So if you could maybe go and grab a copy of that, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'll leave that in the description for sure, 100%. And let's end it there. Nice. Thank you so much, and yeah, see you again next time, guys.